Hey there, gals and guys. Yeah, Ribbo here. Been an emotional couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago was 10 years since my father died, and as this video comes out, literally the minute this video comes out, it will be my mother's 70th birthday. So, happy birthday, Mum! And to celebrate, I've got my favourite little tipple right now, which is a Stella Artois Cidre pear. So I'm going to start drinking that while I talk about a few things. We've had 12, I think 12 different networks get in contact over like the past 4 months, all wanting to run adverts. So got that going for me if we ever want it. We're in the process of making registering a public limited company just for the sake of the channel, just to handle stuff like that. It's so that none of us who are sort of making the videos get any money personally. That way we don't have to handle the taxman and stuff like that. So Boomer's actually an accountant, so he's going to deal with all of this stuff. It's basically so that if we decide to get some advertising revenue, we can spend that money on just buying sort of better equipment so we can make better quality videos, and buy sort of licenses, sort of XSplit licenses and other pieces of software so that other people can also make videos for the channel, and that way none of us ever make a profit, and therefore we don't have to pay any tax, and it's just a lot easier to have it set up as a company. So it's gonna cost like £25 to register it, and luckily we won't have all the accountant fees, because like I said, Boomer's an accountant, he's going to be doing all that. Now, Lee's in the process of finalising his house move, so he'll be able to make videos once he's in the new house, because he'll be able to like get the dog, put it in another room, and lock the door, rather than the dog running around everywhere while he's trying to make a video. And of course, like 2 children who are both sort of under the age of 5. Well, one baby, 1 child. So it's not really a good place for him to be in, where he currently is. Boomer's, he's got about another 3-4 weeks of accounting to do for a certain business. He's sort of been hired for a couple of months to deal with some heavy period. So once that's out of the way, we'd all get up and running. I, yes, got, as well, on top of all of the emotional issues and stuff like that and real life stuff, I got, like, slightly burned out on Hearthstone, purely from the point of view that I generally make better videos when I'm doing them with other people. Like, I like to bounce ideas off what someone else does. So we have a video series that we'll be starting work on very soon. The idea is that each video, well, we're gonna talk about Arena. We're gonna talk about how to draft each class in Arena and play the class. So each video will be split into 2 parts. So the first part will be sort of a roundtable discussion. We pick a class and we talk about the various different ways we can draft that class, whether you go for the fast sort of aggro decks, or a slightly slower, more sort of card advantage based slower decks, or whether you can do both depending on what you get offered. We talk about sort of the expectations for each deck, and also how, like, one of the problems a lot of people have is they think card values are stagnant. They think they're kind of stuck. You know, it's like this card will always be better than this card, and it's not always the case, because obviously if you've got like 13 true silver champions in your arena draft, then the 14th True Silver Champion has like a value of down here, because you're never going to play it. You're actually going to run out of cards by the time you've played your 13 True Silver Champions and attacked with both of them twice. So that 14th one has 0 value, whereas a Wisp will at that point have more value in your deck than the next True Silver Champion. And so that's the kind of thing, that's a kind of an extreme thing, but we're going to look at that, how when you look at your deck and you need to flesh it out. So, for example, like when you start drafting, you generally just take the best cards. You always take, but at some point you have to stop taking the best cards, or taking cards purely based on their power, and start taking cards based on how they will improve your deck. So if you have nothing of 2 mana, then even a crappy like 2 mana guy is probably going to be better than your 7th ogre. That's a 6/7, you know? So we're going to be talking about that, and then what's going to happen is the second video is going to be everything sort of condensed. It's going to be sort of our definitive guide to how to draft this class and what you should look out for, and also how you should play against certain other classes. Like, I mean, you all kind of know now not to overcommit into a flame strike, but there are things that certain classes can do and play around that other classes can't, and also there are just situations where you wouldn't. Like, for example, a priest can pay less attention to flame strike. So like a priest can commit like 5/5 to an already slightly fuller board because he has the potential to heal up his guys after the flame strike. So there's stuff like that, and that's we're going to basically talk about stuff on that, and that's largely due to me wanting to take a short break from actually making the arena videos themselves. I've been, excuse me. Oh, that is nice. I've been playing a little bit of World of Warcraft. It's funny how playing Hearthstone actually wants you to go back and play World of Warcraft. It was like 4.5 years since I last played it. I played the very start of Cataclysm. And the guild I was in decided to quit at that point, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll play some other games. I'm fine, I'm easygoing. So, it's been a lot of fun coming back to the game. Obviously, everything's changed, which is a good thing. You don't want any sort of game being the same for a period of time. And by everything I've changed, I mean it's like it is more casual friendly, which is a cool thing. I didn't like the fact that in the old days of it being super hardcore, you'd have to like grind. You go, oh yeah, all my mates are playing, and then you realise you can't play with them for the next 3 months because you've got to like grind all of the gear from lower level places. So that was like quite badly designed. My one hold up is that, okay, so I've been playing with Lee now actually, and a few of his friends, and so I still had a bunch of characters. They were all like level 75, 80, stuff like that, on different servers, and so you still have that little kind of twing, that little emotional attachment to all the old characters, and then you go, well, I kind of like to keep them because they've got all my achievements and stuff like that. And then you go, okay, so it's going to cost me a lot of money to buy the expansion, transfer all the characters over, because each one's like an individual fee of like $20 or something like that. Possibly do a faction change if required. I don't know whether they're playing Alliance or Horde. And so if you decide to get back into the game seriously, you can be paying, I don't know, like $100 initial outlay just to get back in the game, and I think that's probably putting a lot of people off. I mean, it's understandable that you'd want to play your own characters, so it puts a lot of people off if they make new friends on different servers. It's like, I would like to play with you, but this is just outrageous, the amount of money would, purely on principle. It's like, yes, I can afford it, but purely on principle, I could buy 12 games in the Steam sale, or I could play World of Warcraft for 1 month. I don't know, it feels like a kind of a no-brainer there. But anyway, that's my little sort of rant at Blizzard. Not that they watch these videos, but... So anyway, these roundtable discussions that we're going to do before doing the definitive guide, I'm going to throw these open as well. Obviously, Boomer and Lee and Maddie will hopefully be able to take part in them from time to time, but I am not against anyone else joining in who considers themselves to be knowledgeable. Let's put it that way. And I also don't mind people also sort of making a lot of comments themselves on those videos, on those sort of part 1 videos, because what we'll do is we'll make the part 1 videos, which is a discussion, and then we'll leave it a short while, and the actual sort of definitive way of doing Arena will incorporate as well sort of any comments that we might have missed from players. And it's tough to say how long this video is going to be relevant for, because of course one of the issues whenever you're making sort of videos is entropy. So it's as a video gets older, its worth goes down. It starts to become less relevant. Like if you were to go back and watch my videos from 5 months ago when I started playing Hearthstone, they're pretty bad, and some of the stuff's like quite painful, and like my valuation of certain cards has changed. Like Frost Elemental, I value like a lot higher than I did originally, and Direwolf Alpha I value a lot lower than I did originally. And that's largely because, you know, those cards were more effective 5 months ago when you were playing against people who were a lot worse at the game. But now you have to get your value. You can't afford to make as many mistakes, and you can't afford to have, should we say, quite weak cards. Whereas you didn't really notice it because you were still winning. So entropy is an issue, but I think now's a good time to make this video. If they go and I know there's rumors that they'll be coming out of beta, like very, you know, it's kind of announced unofficially. I think it was like a dev on a French forum or something like that said something along the lines of, "We've got no more changes planned before we're coming out of beta." So it'd be interesting to see how long we go before like an expansion comes out, and how that is going to work, or whether it will just be this sort of single player mode, which will be the next thing they're working on, and then maybe at some point down the line some more cards. But we do need some more cards. For me, I kind of felt, which is why I stepped away from it, I kind of felt that I'd done everything that needed to be done, and I couldn't really play constructed because everyone else at the time didn't have a big enough card pool. You know, I'd been sort of playing for 5 months, and they were sort of coming into the game sort of 4 months later once the beta finally went public. So we couldn't really do a lot of sort of deck techs, playing decks off against each other to see which is better. But I tend to feel that like there's other channels and other people who do that better right now than us, and we don't sort of want to really commit the time to those videos. But you know, they will happen, but they're not going to be definitive. Although I do think like the current sort of crop of decks are very, very aggro friendly, and I don't think there's any place for sort of serious sort of slow control decks right now. That said, you know, it could all change if they release some new cards. So this kind of sums up, I think, my video for me. We got a few other things in the works. If you're interested, I can certainly record a few videos of me playing World of Warcraft. I know we've got some Twitch streaming lined up. Boomer particularly wants to do something because he's sort of interested in doing the whole arena draft and let people pick the cards for him, or at least, you know, sort of discuss through all the cards and get people to sort of pick the right ones and sort of build the decks. Because one of the things I have is I see a lot of forum posts where people go, you know, I follow this guide, this drafting strategy, and I still go 1 and 3 when I play in arena, and I hate to break it to them, but it's got nothing to do with how they draft. It's to do with the fact that they can't actually play the game that well, and they're making poor decisions when, you know, attacking, like what to attack and how to attack, and even simple things like mulliganing correctly. So that's going to be the kind of thing we approach. So the idea is that we maybe make some videos, because the thing about the Twitch stuff is you can directly just chuck it right over to YouTube afterwards. Is that we can let other people sort of do the draft, and then we can just play and we can see sort of how well we do in those kind of situations. So if you have any sort of comments, I know we are going to be looking at a few other games as well. Hex particularly, we're waiting on this one to maybe come out. I think it costs like $50 for a Hex beta right now. So maybe we sort of start a little sort of donation pool or something, so that like a couple of the other guys, because I know Lee particularly is quite interested. I think Boomer might be as well. I know Maddie has a Hex account, and that's basically, it's like Magic the Gathering, but all the names are different, but they all do exactly the same thing. I know Lee actually wants to get into the Wild Star beta. He's a bit like me, like we both like MMOs. So that might be something we look at. I think, you know, I think MMOs and card games they're both sort of laid back and easygoing and relaxing and that kind of thing. And maybe it's just the fact that Hearthstone's got me pumped a little bit for World of Warcraft again. We'll see how this one goes, but I'm more than happy to chat to people sort of in World of Warcraft. Obviously my character's name is Ribbo, how original. We're playing on the EU server, Kilrog. So I'm in a guild with Lee and a bunch of his friends, and from around the sort of the Manchester, England area, and obviously quite a few from outside. So I don't mind talking to. Again, I can't really add you to the friends list because then when I make Hearthstone, you'll also be on the same friends list, and I'll get all those horrible pop-ups. So if there was some way to disable the pop-ups on Hearthstone, I would be fine with having like a really heavy friends list. But you're more than happy to message me. I don't mind that at all. And I guess that kind of sums it up. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. No. I think that's pretty much everything. I've had oh yeah, there was one last thing. Yeah, I've had a couple of people ask for Hearthstone coaching. It is something I would be prepared to do for people, sort of one-on-one private coaching sessions. I'm not cheap, but that's simply because my time's quite important to me. But if people want to do sort of group sessions, so if you 4 of you sort of want to pay, then you know that's fine. I think I generally charge around sort of $60 an hour for my time. When I'm doing poker coaching, my poker rates are like $125 an hour. Teach people how to play poker, and we have like quite a few students on and off, like over the years. that we've gone through. So it's not really advisable for anyone, but you know, if 4 people decide they want to pay $15 an hour each, yeah, you know, I can work with that, and maybe even make some videos out of it as well. I don't mind. Whatever you guys think. And really, that kind of about sums it up. So you know, leave your feedback. Let me know how it goes, and I'll start sort of making videos in the very near future. Ta-da!